How do you find the best Medicare supplement company once you know what Medicare supplement plan that you want? That's what I want to talk about in today's video. So, a lot of the people that call me as an agent, they want to know the price many times on a plan that they have already decided they wanted. So, let's say, for example, they want a Medicare supplement plan G or a Medicare supplement plan N. Now, what they want to figure out is the pricing for that plan. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're researching Medicare supplement plans. Maybe you already have a list of companies and prices, or maybe you already got a quote from a broker and you're looking at this list or you're looking at this quote and you're saying, well, a plan G is a plan G, a plan N is a plan N. Why wouldn't I just pick the cheapest one? Well, that's what I want to talk a little bit deeper about in today's video, because I really do believe this is a topic that maybe doesn't get talked about enough on YouTube when it comes to choosing a Medicare supplement plan. So, a lot of people maybe know that a Medicare supplement plan is standardized. And so, to them, they look at a list, they look at a quote, and they say, well, I'll just pick the cheapest. The benefit is the same. And it's true that the benefit is the same. If you choose a plan G, every single company has to give you the same benefit. And so, from that standpoint, there's not much difference. But there are quite a few other variables that you want to think about when it comes to a Medicare supplement company. And I don't think that price should be your only consideration. In fact, you could have a very different experience depending on which company you choose. And so, in some ways, the company you choose is just as important, if not more important, than the plan that you have. Because many people, when they get a Medicare supplement plan, they have that plan for a long time. And so, you want to really do some research and understand. So, what are some of the key differences that you will see among companies? Well, the first thing I would say is you want to look at their financial rating. And many companies use what's called the AM Best rating. And in there, it's going to give it a grade. And you really want to look for a company that is A minus or higher. Because what that's indicating to you is that the outlook on this company is very positive and likely will experience a lot of stability. So think of it in terms of the financial soundness of that company. That's kind of one of the very first things that you would want to look at. The next thing that I would say you would want to look at is how long have they been selling Medicare supplement plans? So a lot of people don't realize this, but there are smaller, lesser known companies who are always trying to get into the Medicare supplement space. And one of the ways that they do that is they come in with a lower attractive premium on their plans. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? That's good business savvy. You understand a company or a carrier, they want to be able to compete in the market, and so they may offer a lower rate. What you do have to consider in that situation is if a company is newer or smaller, that means there's less people in your area enrolled in that plan. So let's just take Plan G, for example. If you enroll in a Plan G with a smaller, newer company, there's going to be less people in that pool. That's just math. That's just the way that it is. And so what that means is there's less people for that risk to be spread out through. And what could end up happening is you could see quicker rate increases as some of those claims start to come in. Now, again, a lower rate isn't necessarily a bad thing, just like a high rate isn't necessarily a good thing. But it is worth mentioning and worth considering that at the end of the day, Medicare supplements are insurance products and they work very similar to other ones. And that is the rate that you're going to pay is determined by who's in that pool, how healthy they are, and how well they're paying out claims. So, number one was financial outlook. using like the AM Best rating. Number two would be longevity in the market. How long have they been in the market? And here's the other thing I would add to that point, and that is, you know, people don't realize this, but Medicare supplement companies come and go. I mean, right now, there are a few well known companies, insurance companies, that are deciding to exit the Medicare supplement market altogether. Well, as you can imagine, if the Medicare supplement plan ends with that company, you might be able to still keep your plan because there's protections in place for you as a consumer. But that means, again, there's no new people being added to that pool, which again could indicate in the future higher rates just based upon less people in that pool. The next thing I would consider is customer service. Now, I will say that with some of the companies, they outsource a lot of their customer care. And that's why I believe it's very advantageous to work with a broker or agent, because they basically become your kind of that person in the corner for you. Just like maybe you have a lawyer, or maybe you have a financial planner. Having a Medicare broker or Medicare agent means that you have someone in your corner through all the ups and downs of Medicare. And trust me, there are a lot of ups and downs with Medicare. So you want to consider customer service. That's a big thing. If you work with a smaller regional carrier, they may have very specific hours, but when you call, you know that it's maybe somebody right down the road from you. With a larger carrier, you may be able to get a hold of someone 24/7, but is that person, local? Are they in your country, or are they in a different country? That's where some of that nuance starts to come in. I will say that a lot of companies now, they are really encouraging members to create online portals where you can track your payments, you can track your claims, and all that sort of stuff. The world is rapidly moving in that direction where more and more everything is digital. And then the last point I would make about choosing the best Medicare supplement company would be, look at what other people are saying about them. Now, I want to just clarify something with you when I say this. If you go online and just start Googling a company and their Medicare plan and look for reviews on that, you got to be careful, because you might see Medicare Advantage plans that people are talking about. You might see prescription drug plans that people are talking about. You might see other products like employer plans that people are talking about. So you really want to look and find out, how does this company handle the Medicare supplement plan that I want? So to use this example that I'm using in this video, Plan G. What is the feedback from other consumers about Plan G from this company? You can't go wrong with that. I'll close by saying one more thing that is a very common thing in my office. I get a lot of calls about. A lot of people think, well, it would be great to be able to see the rate increases for these companies. What I'll tell you is that information is very, very difficult to find, and in some ways, it's not all that helpful. And the reason is there are so many factors that go into rate increases that it's not necessarily a clear indicator. I should say past rate increases are not a clear indicator of what the future holds. In 2025, with Medicare supplement plans, we're seeing rate increases with companies that we've never seen these large of rate increases. We're seeing companies again exit the Medicare supplement market altogether. So there's a lot of volatility that is connected to not just the stability of the health insurance company, but even things outside of their control, like government intervention, inflation, all those sorts of things. So there's a lot to consider, again, when choosing the best Medicare supplement company. I do want to reiterate what I said at the beginning. I think it is important to consider which company you're using. I think in some ways it could be even as important or more important than the plan that you choose. And so you just want to do your due diligence. If you would like a second look or a second opinion on what you're shopping for as far as Medicare supplement plans, I'd be happy to help. You can reach out to me through my website. Again, it's just meetjamie.com. I'll leave it in the description as well as my phone number. And again, as always, if you like videos like this, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you found it helpful, maybe pass it along to a friend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.